for being here. Well, who doesn't love homegrown veggies and fruit? In honor of National Gardening Month, Kara put on her gloves for a very friendly lesson, beginner friendly, which I would need too, with gardening expert Danny Watson to help out those not so green thumbs. Take a look.
Hi, Danny, my gardening angel. That's what I call you. How are you?
I'm good. And it's so good to be back in studio.
It's so exciting. You always bring us a great spread. And today we're talking vegetables and planting gardens. So how do we know when to start and where should we start?
All right. So the varieties I have today are great for beginners. If you're just starting out to garden, we definitely want you to be successful. So these are the varieties that are just easy. You're not really going to have any issues with them coming up and having a great harvest.
Okay. All right. Let's talk seeds.
All right. So don't rule out seeds, because I know plants can be expensive, and you're talking about just a couple dollars for a pack of seeds. And look how many plants you'll get, 30 to 50 seeds.
Wow.
Sometimes in these packets, and they're so easy to propagate. They're easy to germinate and come up. So some of the varieties I brought today, of course, tomatoes, squash, bush beans, zucchini, watermelon for the kids. Those are all really easy varieties that you know are going to come up. And here's the thing: if you will soak them the night before, let's say 12 hours, they'll germinate so much faster. So I've got this seed tray here. These have little peat pellets in it, and once you soak those, they basically become your soil. If you put this in a south-facing window where there's a lot of light, those seeds will germinate. Once they're up, you can transplant those into your grow box or into the garden. And again, you're going to save so much money by going by seeds.
Okay, so gardening for beginners, say these are easy to do. Germinate in water. Just basically that means just put it in water, 12 hours overnight, soak them, and you can
plant
start
them in that tray. Move it to a south-facing window, and I would say the germination on some of those is just maybe 7 to 10, sometimes maybe 15 days.
Okay.
And then once they're up, and you see that second set of leaves. So the first set of leaves, when you do seeds, that's just the baby leaves. So the second set, once you see the second or the third, that's time to go ahead and transplant him and move him out.
Okay. All right. So let's start planting.
All right. So I have a grow box here today, and we've got some peppers we're going to put in the front, some tomatoes in the back, and Kara, we're basically just going to loosen up this soil. By the way, when you go to pick up a grow box, or even if you're doing a raised garden bed planter, pick up good soil. It's important that you not skimp on the soil. Buy really good soil.
Okay.
And that's going to ensure that the vegetables are going to do so well.
Okay. And how much below the surface should we be planting?
Well, with the peppers, we're going to basically plant them exactly at the level that they are.
Okay.
Now, on tomatoes, it does not hurt to go deep. Tomatoes can basically, they can have roots form from the stem, so you can go deeper with them, and that helps to kind of hold that plant up, because you know tomatoes can get pretty large.
Sure.
In this size box, we wouldn't do any more than 2 tomato plants, because these guys are going to really kind of take over the box in time.
Okay, and can you leave them in here? This is a lemon plant. Let's talk about the plants and how long we can leave them in here.
So they can stay for the life of all of their life in this grow box. So this one you were just mentioning, this is a lemon boy. This particular tomato is one of my favorites because any of the yellow tomatoes, they're low acid, so they're easier on your stomach if you have any issues with that, because sometimes tomatoes can kind of upset some people. And then this one's a Cherokee purple. That is one of my absolute favorite. That is a huge tomato. It is so juicy, so delicious, great for sandwiches. So I recommend looking for those heirloom varieties. They're really good tomatoes.
Okay, tomatoes, lemons, peppers. This is
we have bell pepper in the front.
House.
Yeah, which are easy to grow. And again, this is going to be one that's super easy, and I think people will really be successful with it.
And then when you get them planted, Danny, how often do we water them and to make sure that they grow?
So on this gardening box, you could probably get away with about once or twice a week. Now, having said that, sometimes we get really windy days. Remember with planters, when the wind is really out there, it's evaporating all that moisture. So you might have to check it. If it's really windy, go out and check those vegetables, because this box could dry out and you don't want your plants to suffer.
Got it.
So it could be more often. So just take note of that.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then how do we take care of them once they're growing and staying out of the wind?
So I like to stick with just organics. That's my thing. And neem oil is great to use if you have an insect issue. Also insecticidal soap. Both of those are super safe, and if you're not compromising on the quality or worrying about chemicals or anything like that. And also I want to mention, for me, I actually just go out and check my vegetables every day, and I look for insects. So if I see a tomato worm that's on there chewing away, I go ahead and take them off. You can always do it the old-fashioned way, and then you don't have to deal with spraying spraying anything. And then pick up a good organic fertilizer. And this you'll probably use like every 2 or 3 months. So you'll repeat that. Once the plants look like they need another boost of it, you would come and add some more to it, sprinkle it around the soil. And then garden lime. So a lot of folks don't realize when you plant tomatoes, you need a pinch of lime in that soil. And again, this would be something you might have to follow up with. Otherwise, you have a beautiful bush, and a lot of times the actual blooms will fall off. This adds calcium to the soil, so it builds a stronger, better plant. So
okay,
don't
very
forget,
important to know that. And also
use the
something
lime.
else Danny was telling me, I'll wrap with this, is that as we're waiting for our trees to blossom or leaf out, make sure you know where you're going to put this, that it will still be in direct sunlight for
That's
your
right.
vegetables.
6 to 8 hours is the amount of sunlight that you need for vegetables to really flourish. So consider those trees, because right now they could still be partially bare, and then once they leaf out, you might have a shady space that you didn't realize. The nice thing about this box, you can move it around.
All right.
But if you're planting in the ground, you need to consider that.
All right, Danny, thanks. You always give us the best advice, and hopefully we inspired some people to start a garden, a little farm to table action for you. All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kara.
I love Danny's segments. He also recommends keeping a lavender plant nearby to help those veggies grow, and we just so appreciate him.